I remember when I was 7 years old and going over to my friend's house to play Nintendo 64 and games like Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Snap. I also remember having a Pokemon-themed birthday party and collecting the Pokemon trading cards and hoping that maybe one day I could be a Pokemon master. Now, the Pokemon Empire is still relevant even 16 years later after being created, and through understanding its release to the United States, the video games created for it, and the pop culture surrounding it, we can see that Pokemon is still relevant in today's day and age. First, let us go on a journey and see the transition that Pokemon has made from Japan to the United States. So although Pokemon was released to the United States in 1998, it had to undergo some changes before it made its way here. Now, according to the article Pokemon Case Study, changes to the 151 characters' names had to be made, aside from Pikachu, that is. And this was to ensure that the audience members of the United States would not misconstrue the names, and then also that it would make sure that they would be embraced by this audience. However, Pokemon still had some sort of popularity before it had been officially released to the United States and while it was still in Japan. Additionally, changes to the television show were made prior to its release. So this included making content, editing, and music changes to make sure that it appealed to American audiences. Now, the popularity of Pokemon in the United States was due to some key reasons, and this included things such as trading cards, television show, movies, video games, stuffed animals, to name a few. And having these items is what drove audiences wild. Now, before it was able to make its way to the United States, the packaging for this memorabilia also had to be changed. So because of its memorabilia, Pokemon had a lot to offer audiences, which especially made video games a great way for children to interact with it. According to the article Pokemon, A Cultural Phenomenon, Satoshi Tajiri and Game Freak joined forces to create the first handheld Pokemon game using the Game Boy system. After 6 years of development, it was released in 1996 to Japan under the RPG or role-playing game genre. Game Boy Color and Advance followed Game Boy, and eventually Nintendo DS and 3DS also released games. Some games that were released under these were Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Pearl, and most recently in October, Pokemon X and Y. Console games were also released for Pokemon. Now, the first was Nintendo 64, followed by Nintendo GameCube, Wii, and Wii U. Some games released were Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Channel, Pokemon Rumble, Pokepark 2, Wonders Beyond, and Pokemon X and Y for console. Now, here's a picture of Nintendo 3DS, which is being sold right now at toysrus.com. So Pokemon has had an influence in pop culture and appeared in other video games, television shows, and movies. Pokemon has appeared in video games such as The Simpsons game, Mob Game, and Super Happy Fun Game, as well as RoboFlex. They both have references to Pokemon within their games. Pokemon has also appeared in Family Guy and Everybody Loves Raymond, according to Pokemon in pop culture. Family Guy characters actually converse about Pokemon, and there's a toy drawn in the episode that is almost an exact copy of the character Machoke. In Everybody Loves Raymond, the characters reference a company that is very similar, almost an exact copy of Pokemon, except it's a Korean company, and one of the characters actually has a plush toy of Pikachu in their room. Pokemon has also appeared in the movie Austin Powers Goldmember. Now, it's not a huge part in the movie, but there's a scene where two people are clearly dressed like Pikachu and Charmander. Pokemon has made its way to people that consider themselves gamers, but it's also something that people usually have a little bit of knowledge of, whether it's just the fact that they know Pikachu, or whether it's they know that their friends collected the cards at some point in their life. I grew up with Pokemon in my life, and I know that many of my peers can say that they have a special place in their heart for Pokemon, whether they had a short-term attachment to it, or they still are following the TV shows, or they actually play the games in present day. Pokemon is a company that has been around for 16 years already, and due to its marketing in the United States, variety of games, and place in pop culture, it is able to continue to flourish and stay relevant. And make sure, if you really want to relive your Pokemon days, go on over to Netflix because you can stream those videos right now.